I am wondering if my F27 boyfriend M29 is sharing our intimate videos. Hello. My boyfriend M29 and I F27 have been together for 8 years. We have been living together for 3 years. I'll start by saying that I love him. We never had any big fight. And he has always been compassionate, understanding and simply there when I needed him. I am sure he is not the kind of person who can do something like this. But something has been bothering me recently. And I need some advice. I am really happy with our sex life. We have roughly the same sex drive. And we both try to please each other. I quickly understood that he loved oral sex. And I have always been happy to please him this way. He has a little dom side that I learned to love because it is always with respect. If he sees it goes just a bit too far for me, he stops and makes sure I am okay. But nothing too heavy. He likes to give me directions and talk to me dirty. Mostly. 2 years ago, he asked if he could film me while I was pleasuring him. I accepted. And the way he acted while I was doing it really turned me on because he was turned on. And because I was feeling good too. It has since become a regular practice between us, at least 7 or 8 times a year. I'd like to emphasize the fact that it's not the part that is bothering me. I do it because I like it well, not as much as him, but I love to see him that way and the pleasure I give him, and he is pleasuring me just as much, every time I ask him to. I even recorded him while he was pleasuring me as well, so I can understand the kink. But, recently the 2 last times, I started to see a change in the way he acted while I was pleasuring him. Before, he was just filming me most of the time, only asking me to look at him from time to time, or some minor things, but now he seems more focused on the way it will look on camera than the way he feels during the blowjob. For instance, he has now bought 3 cameras to record us from different point of view at the same time, 2 on the sides and 1 in his hands, directly on my face. It takes a long time. It doesn't bother me. As I said, he takes the time to please me as long as I want to. But now it doesn't seem like I am really taking care of him that much during our seances. It seems that most of the time is him giving me directives and changing the way it will look. For example, he will ask me to do it a specific way for a few minutes, then tell me to stop, then tell me to look one of the other camera, then tell me to start again, etc. And after a few minutes he will ask me to change position. He asks me to talk directly to the camera, not to him. He asks me to say hello, to wink, etc. He asks me to say that I will do things on camera that I don't like to do. I insist he doesn't ask me to do the thing I don't like. He just asks me to say that I will do it and that I like it. And I don't feel any pressure of doing it. He just wants me to pretend. There are more, but it is enough to give a general idea. Now, as I already said, I don't mind doing this for him if it's his kink. But something clicked into my mind when I thought about it recently. What if he started showing it to someone else? I am 99% sure he would not do something like this. But this one last of irrationality has become really heavy on me. And I fear to ask him directly, because we never have had any problem, and he never gave me any reason to doubt him. And I know it would crush him if I could think something like this about him. I don't know what to do. How can I be sure he doesn't do it without sounding like I don't trust him? Or how could I check if he did? TLDR, I am recently wondering if my boyfriend is sharing our intimate videos, but I am 99% sure he would not do that. And I don't want to hurt him by giving him the impression I see him as someone capable of doing that. Update. I snooped. I didn't want to make him feel like I was doubting him. So I tried to find any evidence on his computer that could show signs he shared our videos. The good news is that I didn't find any definitive proof of sharing. However, I found where he keeps my videos, and I've seen something that still makes me think. I didn't only found the videos. I found video montages too. Lots of them in fact. I explained in my original post that I felt that most of our time was spent with him giving me directives and asking me to change position, etc. Well, it doesn't look like that on one of the montages at all. It looks like I am blowing him for hours. There is even a fake timestamp to make it looks like it. I will not explain the montages in details, but it does not show a positive image of me. I don't even know when he has the time to do all this. As we live together, I don't know what to do next, as I didn't find definitive evidence of him sharing the videos, but the way he uses them seems off. As I said, I could understand if it was for his pleasure only, but montages could indicate he shares them. I feel it's even more difficult to ask him questions now that I snoop. Is it possible he does all of this just for himself? What should I do? As it seems even harder to ask him now. Too long didn't read my boyfriend records me while I am orally pleasuring him and makes montages of it. And I fear he is sharing these videos with others. I feel like it wouldn't hurt to ask him if he's showing anyone or uploading them somewhere. It's just a question. If you two have been dating for 8 years and you're comfortable enough to let him film you with 3 different cameras, you can at least ask where the videos are going. The question implied that I don't trust him. We both feel that what is great about our relationship is the fact we trust each other, even if it seems benign at first. I know him. And he will wonder if I doubt him, and it could lead to a path I don't really want to go. Second story. My girlfriend F20 cheated on me M21 with her best friend. During the summer break my girlfriend cheated on me with her best friend, all the while keeping me in the dark and the general communication was zero. We came back to college and I started hearing dumb things and excuses that lead to fights like, "You kiss differently. You've changed. You're not who you were." I haven't changed a bit. It's just that something felt off. One day we had an event in college and we had a lot of fun. The same night I got a call from her. She was crying and she told me how she cheated on me with her best friend for about 3 months. She told me how she realized she truly loved me. I don't like shouting on people or fighting, so I immediately cut the call and didn't want to talk further. She started bombarding me with calls. I picked up one call and told her that I didn't want to talk right now and was in no mood to discuss this further. She kept calling me. Now her friends also joined in. I was getting messages and calls left and right. She was crying and not eating. Finally I had to pick up the call. She was crying profusely and asking me why I wasn't talking to her. She kept saying I love you, but I couldn't bring myself to reciprocate. I told her I wanted to break up, but that blew the lid off her and she started crying very loudly. I somehow convinced her to eat something and not cry. She kept saying she only wanted me and nothing else. But my trust was shattered. She made me meet her the next day, although I didn't want to. I told her I wanted a break and it'll be a long time before I was normal again. She just kept crying and asking me not to do this. She kept saying I love you, don't do this, etc. After a while I thought maybe I was being too dramatic, and told her I can't trust her anymore. She said she would do anything. I could only tell her I can't do this. She kept pushing me. Me and my ex were really good friends. We broke up on mutual terms and would talk once in a while. She had a problem with talking to my ex and made me block her. Finally I asked her to choose between me or her best friend. I am not someone who does something like this. She used to hang out with him and leave me behind. Talk to him and not answer my calls at times, but I trusted her fully. She said she wants to be with me. She made it a point to show me she blocked him. It was all well and good until about a week later when I saw she was talking to him on Instagram. I was hurt. I had started to trust her again to some degree. I immediately confronted her and she blocked him again, but I wasn't having any of it. She started crying and begging me. After a lot of this I still agreed to be with her. Now yesterday, again I saw this guy's chats, never checked her phone. She was showing me something on Instagram and confronted her about it immediately. She started telling me how her friend was becoming suicidal and this and that. I called the guy directly and talked to him in front of her and told both of them that I wasn't okay with it and that she will have to choose. Now somehow my girlfriend told me I was being controlling by asking her to choose, and at this point I had had enough. I asked her to take her stuff and go to her hostel. I have a flat. She lives in the hostel. Now I thought talking to one of her friends who was quite reasonable was a good idea. I called her friend up in front of her and she told my girlfriend to do what she thought was right. Then she took the phone off the speaker and I was like, this involves me, I would like to listen. At this point she started leaving the room. She had already packed her stuff, so in anger I told her that if you leave just don't come back. At this point she made up her mind about the breakup and proceeded to take her stuff and walk out the door. It was pretty late at night and I didn't want to let her go in an unsafe situation. I chased after her and said I'd give her a ride. She refused, but I insisted. Finally she agreed. At this point she had told her friends and her best friend that we'd broken up. But during the ride she held on to me and started crying, asking me if we were really doing this. I didn't have an answer. What do I do? Too long didn't read. GF cheated on me with her best friend but still talking to him behind my back and against my wishes. Update. So I wanted to provide an update and thank my fellow Redditors. I took the advice and broke up and realized that the relationship was really sucking the life out of me and was the worst thing in my life at the moment. Since then I have met someone who understands me and cares for me. Therese, no drama. Well, I once ate the last pizza slice and she got pretty angry, but yeah, that's the level of the drama. We support each other and she makes me a better human all around. Because of my ex I wasn't able to focus on my studies, and the breakup, combined with the COVID pandemic, gave me ample time for studying, and I landed an internship at a big bulge bracket company, and also I am working on a few personal projects that I love spending time on. The pandemic also gave me time to realize that I was with the wrong person, and I love many others who love me, be it my family, friends, etc. I feel really liberated. Today I was looking back at what used to be and I remembered that this subreddit for the trigger point for the change in my life. So thank you, and you all are awesome. It's because of you I've gone from crying nights to happy days. Edit 1, some edits based on comments. Edit 2, holy smokes. I didn't expect such a reaction. Thanks guys. Edit 3, such wholesome comments. Thanks guys. Too long didn't read. Took the advice of fellow Redditors and broke up with my ex and spent probably the best year of my life. Third story. My 20 female friend 20 female tried to hook up with my boyfriend 22 male a few weeks ago and he didn't tell me about it. A friend of mine tried to hook up with my boyfriend. He turned her down. But I am sussed out by the fact that he didn't tell me. I only found out from my boyfriend's friend who was there when it happened. He thought that my boyfriend already told me about it. Since it was her who hit on him and he turned her down and there was no reason to hide it. I confronted my boyfriend about it later and he said he didn't want to ruin our friendship and that he told her if she doesn't stop being weird he'll tell me. He says he wanted to give her a shot at saving the friendship. I already decided that I am done being friends with her because I don't want friends that would do something like that. Besides, I've always thought she had a thing for him anyway. She thinks that just because they met first that means she's entitled to him or something. I don't need that kind of BS in my life, so if he had told me I would have cut her off immediately, which is what I did when I found out. The problem for me right now is that it's weird that he didn't tell me about it. I understand that it must have been an awkward spot for him, but you'd think he'd want to tell me immediately to avoid a misunderstanding. Besides, it's weird that he cares more about potentially saving my friendship with her than he does making sure he doesn't come off as a cheater. My friends think he hid it from me because he was interested, but I don't think he's that kind of guy. Granted, we've only been dating for 4 months, and I still don't know him that well, so anything is possible. What do you guys think? Is it a red flag that he didn't tell me? Update. So, I told my boyfriend that I understand why he did it, and that I get that he wanted to avoid hurting me, but that he doesn't get to make that choice for me. He said he understands that he should have told me, but that he had kind of hoped that she was just having a weird moment and that it wouldn't happen again and we'd avoid the entire thing completely. I told him that from now on I want him to be upfront with me about this kind of thing. I also told him that if he was worried about if I'm going to believe him over my friend or not, he shouldn't be, because I honestly suspected that she was into him anyway. I would have definitely believed him. Anyway, I feel like he totally understood where I am coming from. If anything, this whole thing kinda made us be on the same page about this type of stuff. I want to thank everyone for the advice because I was honestly getting paranoid because I've been cheated on before and my friends are kinda cynical, so they expected the worst, which made me do the same. Ironically, because of this whole thing and the talk we had after, I feel like I can trust him more. For now, I am gonna try to stop assuming the worst. Thanks to everyone who chipped in. Too long didn't read my boyfriend and I had a talk about what happened. He explained to me his point of view and I explained to him mine. He understood why I was upset and I feel like we really got on the same page. So, everything worked out for the best. Hit like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing to our channel.